So Nigerians are the one doing better jobs of selling themselves. And that's why when you see Nigerian musicians go to other countries, you see them do a good or better jobs of marketing the country itself, rather than the government or the leaders are actually doing. When you see talent shows all over the world, when you go to universities, you see Nigerians who are actually excelling, doing so well outside the country. These people are the ones that are doing better jobs and marketing what the country feels like. The media, the internet has done a better job of showcasing the world what Nigerians are. You see, it's actually better now that there is social media. I used to have a girlfriend from the Philippines.
Really?
Yes. These people are so fascinated by us and how we live and our struggles and our lives. I think people are doing much more better jobs of marketing themselves more than the country. The government are even doing that.
Well, it's also that, like, I think in general, most people are not really that actively seeking out the lifestyles of other people. They're not like looking to find out how people here live and how people there live, which is why I wanted to do this, really, because I think it's really important to know. When you get a curated feed of what's happening, sometimes it shows too much of the negative aspects, or sometimes it shows too much of the positive aspects. Like, countries are really complicated and diverse. Before leaving the States, most people that come to America, I feel like we basically, whatever they say about it, we just believe it 100%, and we don't imagine that there's other people in different situations there. So you have one person coming from one tribe or one religion, they have a very different experience from someone else. But we don't think about that when we think about this country. We just think about, oh, my friend said that, so it must be that kind of country. I find like a lot of people make that kind of really simplistic view of things when it's never that simple.
Yeah, like that concept of the herd mentality. I used to have a friend of mine who lives in South Africa. He's a Nigerian, but he stays in South Africa. He's on the blockchain. He's on the Hive blockchain as well. So we used to talk so much. There is this thing happening in South Africa. It's called xenophobic attacks. The South Africans are trying to chase away the foreigners that are in their country, starting with the Nigerians. A lot of population in South Africa believes that Nigerians are bad without even having close relationships with the people. They don't know them firsthand. They only heard. They totally believe that, and they don't want to like have anything to do with Nigerians. If this kind of thing can happen in South Africa, I think it can basically happen anywhere in the world. Nigerians are very complicated people. I believe humans in general are complicated. We are suffering from the actions of bad Nigerians currently. We have monopolists who are ruling the country. The system is meant to, particularly favor some part of some people. We have Nigerians who are very bad, but then you have Nigerians who are great people, who are loving.
Of course,
when I came to Hive, some of the people who helped me progress are some Nigerians as well. In fact, you have more great people once you get to meet the right people.
Yeah, always, I have that experience everywhere. You always find like wonderful people there. The majority is always decent people. Sometimes the people that are doing bad things, they do whatever it takes, And so we see them first. A lot of places get this bad rap because of that. The people that are not doing great stuff, they're really easy to find because they're right in the forefront, because they did whatever it took to get there. The people that do whatever it takes, sometimes they're not always the best people. And there's good people that do bad things and bad people that do good things too. And I don't even buy into this idea of good and bad people. I think it's all just a matter of what you experience and how you interpret that and how you react to it.
Exactly.
So you're freelancing full time with this kind of crappy internet situation, right? Is it?
I have no choice but to do that. Sometimes I wish I could badly leave everything to go to a better system where everything works. Because there are so many factors that you have to consider. Leaving Nigeria is one of the most expensive things you'd ever do. And if you don't have a plan, you'd go back to ground zero. So there are sometimes I wish to leave the system, but I don't have a choice. Most times the system fails you a lot. They don't have a choice. They don't have another way to mitigate what is happening to them. So they keep doing what they are doing because they know people do not have a choice. When you have choice, you have power. You have power of selection. But when you are limited in choice, you are not empowered. So that's the situation.
I don't know the situation in Nigeria for leaving the country, but in general, if the living cost is cheaper and you go somewhere where the living cost is more expensive, it's so difficult. Like I did that before. I was traveling in Asia and then I came to Japan. The amount of money that I had to make here was just so much more than I was used to living on there. I wouldn't have been able to come here if it weren't for a local friend. He said, you can stay in my house for free. Once you find a job, you can pay me 60% of the regular cost. If I didn't have him, I wouldn't have been able to come back. And my situation is where like I could go back to the US and start working at a job again. If you're in a country with a kind of less opportunities, then it's even harder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.